So let us start. So I'll share my screen. So today the task is like there is a Java web application in Git repository. So the task is to get that Git repository from the GitHub by the Jenkins, and the Jenkins will deploy that web application by using the Maven and some plugins like deploy to the container plugin. So by using those plugins, it will deploy that code into the Apache Tomcat server. So in this task, we are going to create two instances, which one is for the Jenkins server and another one is for the Tomcat server. So since we are aware of that the Jenkins and the Tomcat both are like working on the same port number, which is nothing but the 8080 port. So we'll try to create two instances, and one is for the Jenkins server and another one is for the Tomcat. So, and this is the workflow, like it will pull that the repo from the GitHub account, like, and after that, by using certain plugins, it will deploy to the by using the deploy to the container plugin. It will deploy that web application to the Apache Tomcat server. So in this task, we are going to use plugins called Maven integration plugin and deploy to container plugin. So let me go to console. So first, let us create instances. So first, I'll create the Jenkins instance, like Jenkins server. I'll keep the name as a Jenkins server. So I will use the AMI as the Amazon Linux image. And for the instance type, I will use the instance. So moreoverly, it would be required to install some packages like Git has to install, and Maven and Jenkins on the same server. So that's why we keep it as a T2 small. So otherwise, if we are selected to the T2 micro, it would be like some latency or lagging will be happen. So it is always better to select the T2 micro. And I'll use the key pair at the top that already existed in my laptop. So for the network settings, so I will go with the default VPC and the subnet preference. As of now, I'm not going to mention any subnet, and the auto assign public service IP is enabled. And the firewall settings, I'll select the security group as the default one. In this default security group, I have enabled the port numbers 22 and the 8080 as well. For deploying the Jenkins, as we know that the 8080 port number is required. So that's why I have enabled it in my default security group. I have selected that security group. And the storage will be the same like as the default one. So I'll launch the instance. So meanwhile, I'll create another instance for the Tomcat server. So I will keep the name as a Tomcat server. And I'll keep the Amazon machine in AMI as the Amazon Linux only. 2023 version I'm using. So I'll keep the instance type as a T2 micro, as we are only deploying the Tomcat in these servers. So T2 micro is very much sufficient. So that's why I'll keep it as a T2 micro. And the key pair, I'm going to use the key pair same that I have used it to the Jenkins server as well here. And the same like network settings also I'll keep the same as Jenkins server. And by default, Apache Tomcat also works on the port number 8080 by default. So the same default security group I have configured with this server also as well. So, and the storage will be 8 GB as default, and I launch the instance. So now we have two instances. One is for the Jenkins. So we have two instances. One is for the Jenkins server and another one is for the Tomcat server. So I will connect to the Jenkins server now. So by using the SSH connection, I will connect to the Jenkins server. There I will install the Jenkins. So now we connected to the Jenkins server. I'll switch to the root user. Now we'll see how to install Jenkins on. So I'll go to the official site here. You can get the installing Jenkins process. Here we can select the OS type. Here I'm selecting the Linux. As we are selected as a Red Hat one. So I'll copy the script here. It will download the Jenkins repo and it will create the Jenkins key for the M repos as well. So after that, it will M upgrade. It upgrades the server and also by default it won't download any JDK. So we are going to download the JDK separately. So these command is by default not works on the Amazon Linux 2023 versions. It might work on the Amazon Linux version 2, Amazon Linux 2, but it won't work on the 2023 version. So I have copied the script and I'll paste it here. Yes, it is completed now. Let us check whether the Java is getting installed or not. So there is no Java. So let us try to install Java for the 2023 version so that you can search it in Google. It will appear in this page. So you can copy this command for now I'm going to install the Java version 11, JDK 11. So I'll copy this command. Yeah. So now JDK is installed on Jenkins server. So let us try to see the status of the Jenkins. So it is loaded and it is in the inactive state. So let us start the Jenkins. It might take a few minutes to install the Jenkins, to start the Jenkins. Let us go to another instance. There we have to install the Tomcat. So I'll try to connect these instances in the console itself. So Yes. Now we are in the Tomcat server. So I'll switch to the root user. So now we have to download the Tomcat so that I'll enter into the Tomcat official site. So in this site, there is a different versions is there for the Tomcat. We can select whatever the version that we want to install. So I'll go with the Tomcat 9. So here there is some options like I'll I will download the tar file. Here I'll copy the link. By using the wget command, I will install the Tomcat here. So now if you do ls, here we have the tar file as the Apache Tomcat application in the tar form. So we have to untar it. To untar like tar -xzf. So it is untarring our application. If we do the ls here, so we have tar and untarred application separately. So that since we are required to have these Apache Tomcat applications, so we can delete these. So I will remove this. So we'll try to move this application to the OPT directory so that I can use the command like move command, move Apache this application. I should move it to the OPT as a Tomcat. So if we see here, it won't appear here. I will try to access it in OPT. So here it is a Tomcat. So now let us try to enter into Tomcat so that we have to start the Tomcat server. For that, we will enter into Tomcat. Here we have some files, directories. To start the Tomcat server, we have to enter into the whatever that application we have downloaded and installed. In that untarred tarred application, we have a bin folder. We should enter into that bin folder. There we can get the startup script. Like if you wanted to start the Tomcat, or if you wanted to shut down the Tomcat, those script will be available in this bin folder. So here we can get these scripts. So this is the startup script and this is the shutdown script. So we can run the script to start the Tomcat. Get started. Yes, can you hear me? Sorry, I think
Yes,
I have
sir.
lost. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Ah,
Shankar,
okay.
you're audible.
Yes. So we are on the Tomcat server now. So we'll try to enter into the Tomcat folder directory. There we have the script to start the Tomcat. In the bin directory, we have that script. So as a dependency, like Tomcat always needs a JDK. So in this server, we haven't installed the JDK. So we'll do this as well, like by using this command, we'll try to install JDK in this server as well. I think because of internet connection, it is taking this much time. Okay, meanwhile, we'll try to connect it to the Jenkins server now. So I'll copy the public IP of this Jenkins server. So for the initial password, we have to copy this path and we have to enter into this path where we have installed our Jenkins. So this is our initial password. So I have copied it and I'll paste it in here. So now it will ask like it will recommend us for to install the suggested plugins. I'll go with the install suggested plugins. Yes, 1 second. So it is installing the suggested plugins in Jenkins server. Oh. So now if we do startup script, startup.sh, so now our Tomcat server gets started. So if we try to copy the public IP of these instance, for example, we would paste it here. On the same port number 8080, the Tomcat also works. So this is our Tomcat application. So it is running and installs it successfully. So if we want to like enter into these Tomcat servers, so there is a like manager app icon. If we click it on, it will throw some error like 403 access denied. This is just because of we haven't have this sufficient permission to enter into the manager app. So for that, we have to give some configurations in this. So let us go to the Tomcat server. So now we are in the Tomcat directory. There we have web apps. So enter into web apps. So here we have manager directory. So enter into manager directory. If we ls here, we have meta info. So this is the information of the metadata for it is Tomcat server. So we have to enter into this directory. There we have a context.ht. So I will use the VI editor to open this file. So here we have this script. So to enable to get the password of these for Tomcat server, we have to comment it. So this script starting from the val and the hash map till now it has to comment it out. So I'll do this. So from here to here, I have commented the script. So now I will save this one. So if I have given the command pwd, so this is the path. So we have to change the context.xml file which is located in these directory. So this is the entire path of this directory. So after that, so now if we try to reload this page, it will ask for the username and password. So by default, we haven't any set any username ID and password. So for that, we have to do another configuration. Like if we go to Tomcat directory, there we have a directory called conf. So enter into this directory. Here we have users like a Tomcat users file. The users who want to access these Tomcat inside that application, here we have to provide the ID and password. So for that, I'll use the VI editor to open the file. So Tomcat users.xml. So here we have to give some script. So these are all the users from opening. So Tomcat users, this is the script. So insert the script. So we should give the script inside of these Tomcat users only. So otherwise it won't work. So we can get the script from the internet, like in any like Google blog as well. Like I have stored it here. I will share the document after this class. So we can copy the script and we can paste it here. So what it is asking, like this is the username. Username is the admin and password is the admin. Like if you want to change these credentials, you can change, but keep remember that credentials. So we need it for the Jenkins configuration. So the roles are manager GUI, manager script, and manager JMX and manager status. For all those roles, we have configured the username and the password as the admin and admin. So now I'll try to save this. Let us try to come back and let us try to enter into bin path, bin directory. To reflect these changes, we have to, shut down the Tomcat. For that, so we should run the script shutdown.sh. So now it is it is stopped, and again we have to start. Now it is restarted. So if we go to the Tomcat page, here we have given the credentials as an admin user and password as an admin. So we'll try to sign in. Now it is signed in. So credentials are admin and admin. So in this way, we have to configure the manager credentials for the Tomcat web server, web application. Like so now, let us try to enter into Jenkins. So I'll go with the username as admin and password as. If you want to give these for the practice purpose, or you can skip these as well. So this is our public IP and the port number. So we click on start using Jenkins. So now we'll try to install some plugins that we are going to use now. So in the plugin section, we go to available plugins. So we should download the plugins called the Maven integration. So this is the plugin. So I have selected and installed it. So after installing the Maven integration plugin, I'll try to install another plugin, which is deploy to container. Deploy to container. This is the plugin we needed.
Sir, what is the use of this deploy the container?
So use of this deploy to container is, if we are assume that the Apache Tomcat as a container, like Apache Tomcat is a app server, which means whatever the app that we are going to install now, it will deploy it on the Apache Tomcat. So that Apache Tomcat itself act as a container. So that's why we are using these plugins to install that web application on Apache Tomcat server.
Okay, sure. Thank
Okay. So now we have installed two plugins. So if we go to manage Jenkins, we should provide, like we have installed the plugins, right? So for the deploy to container plugin, which means we have to give the credential for the Apache Tomcat that we have installed on another instance, right? So for that, we have to give the credentials. In the credential sections, there is a system block. There we have global credential. On that global credential, we have to add the credentials. So as we know that we have given the credential as the username as admin and the password as admin. So these are the credentials of Apache Tomcat server. So it will authenticate the Tomcat server by using these credentials. So the credentials are username and password, and the ID I will keep it as a Tomcat for the identification purpose. So let us create these credentials. So now what we have done is like we have deployed the two plugins, and we have created the credentials for the Tomcat web Tomcat web application to connect with these Jenkins server. So after that, we'll try to go to the tools section. So here we should configure the three tools, which is nothing but the Java. It is like a Java kind of project. So that's why we needed the JDK and Git. Git is to pull that code from, pull that repository from our Git account. So we need Git as the and the Maven. Like as we know, like if we wanted to build any Java code, we need a Maven as a build tool. Like for that purpose, we have to configure the Maven tool also. So we'll try to do that. So for the JDK installation, we'll try to give the name as a Java. In this Java home path, we should give the Java executable file. So we have our Jenkins server and the Java JDK as well. So we'll try to enter into the path of the executable path of the Java. So user lib. In this path, we have to enter into JVM. In the JVM, this is our JDK. So we should enter into that directory as well. So if we give pwd command here, so this is the executable path of this JDK. So we'll copy the entire path of that executable JDK and we'll try to copy it here. So now, so our JDK tool configuration done. Now we'll try to configure the Git here. So this is the Git executable path. So for that, we should install the Git here. Now I'll copy the Git path, executable path. So this is the Git executable path. So for the Maven as well, we haven't installed the Maven yet. So I will install the Maven as well here. So Maven is a build tool. Like it will create the artifact from the code, like whatever the code that we have in our Git repository. It will create the .war file. In this case, it will create the .war file. So which is nothing but the executable file to the application. It will convert that code into the .war file, Maven. So that's why we have created the Maven here. I will try to add the Maven. So which means it will. So I will keep the name as M3 Maven. So I'll click the install automatically. Like it will create the version 3.9.5. So now we have configured the Maven and the Git and the JDK. So 3 tools we have configured. Now let us try to apply and save these changes. So now we have done all the configuration part as of now. Like what we have done, like we installed the 2 plugins. So already we have in the suggested plugins, we have the tools called Maven, JDK, and Git. We have configured those tools, and we have a deploy to container and a Maven integration tool as well. So we'll try to restart the Jenkins now. So I'll give the username and password. So now let us try to create a job. So if you see, without the Maven integration plugin, it won't appear here. So it would be like freestyle project and pipeline without these plugin. So since we have installed that Maven integration plugin, it will be appeared here. It has Maven project. So we'll try to name this as a Maven project. Select the Maven project and click on OK. So I forgot to mention that. So this is our Git repository actually. I'll show you what we have in our Git repository. So this is our Git repository. Actually, these are the files. So this is the server and web app. So the name of the application is web app. So inside of this app, we have a source main web app and a pom.xml. So pom.xml is the dependency for the Jenkins, Java project. But if we want to deploy the Java project, so pom.xml is nothing but the for the Maven, for the executing the building the Maven, like to build the code, Maven will use this pom.xml file and it will create the artifact. So in this file, in this pom.xml file, it will have some dependencies. Like, for example, Maven wants to build this code. So Maven needs some dependencies. So that dependencies will be mentioned in this pom.xml. So this is our code. So we'll try to copy the URL of this code. So here in Git repository, I'll paste the code. So now, by default, it will be as a master branch. Let us check whether that the code is present in the master branch or not. Yes, it is in master branch. Now I'll go to the, if you go to down, so we'll try to, yeah. So this is the build step, like root pom.xml. By default, it will give that pom.xml. Means it will read that pom.xml, whatever the dependencies that needed to be run the code and create the artifacts by using the code. So it will use the pom.xml. So the goal is to clean install. So it is a Maven command, which means it will install all the dependencies that need to build that code. So the goal, it will by default, it will be as a pom.xml. We should mention that clean install, the command to install the dependencies in that building phase. So end of this drop down, like we have deploy var or year to a container. Select that option. So here the goal is to deploy whatever that files, artifacts. Files is nothing but the artifacts that built by the Maven tool. We should copy, we should deploy it to the Apache Tomcat. So this is the path, like whatever the path it may be. So that ended with the dot var. So in build phase, Maven will create the dot var file by that code. So that dot var file will be deployed to the Tomcat web server. The expectation is to by deploying it to the dot var file to the Tomcat web app application. So it must be accessible to in this space. So as our project name is like a web app, if we mention that name as a web app in this space, like for example, we'll try to mention that name here. So as of now, we haven't built that code. So that's why it is like saying that the 40 error, not found any server. So once we have given the path as these, so these files, whatever the end with dot var, so it will be deployed to the Tomcat. So these are the container. This is the another one, and this is the Tomcat's version. So since we have downloaded the Tomcat as a 9th version, so it is always suggested to a version that we are going to, like we have installed in on instance. So we have installed the Tomcat as a 9 server. So I'll go with the Tomcat 9. So here we should provide the credentials. If you remember, like in the manage Jenkins section, we have created the credentials for the Tomcat server. So it will be reflected here, like it will. So admin and the admin is the credential. So in the Tomcat URL, we should mention the URL of the Tomcat server. So in our case, this is the URL. So I'll remove this name of the project and I'll copy this URL and I'll paste it here. So this is the this is all about the configurations like we have done. We have used the plugins called Maven integration and the deploy to container and the Maven plugin and the Git plugin and JDK. So these are the plugins that we have used now. So we have given the credential of the Tomcat web server's credential in the manage Jenkins section. And after that, we have created the Maven project. By using the Maven plugin, it is it showed the Maven project on the new job section. So we have selected that Maven project. In the Maven project, we have done all this configuration. Like we have copied the GitHub repository, and so in the post build actions, we have to deploy the var file to the Tomcat app application. So now let us try to apply and save this job. So this is our Maven project job. If we click on build now, let us see. Yes, it is successful. Let us see the console output. So what it has done, like, so this is the workspace path of this our job, like where live Jenkins workspace. Here, the Maven project, whatever the name that we have given to our job. So in this path, it will look like it will enter into those path, and after that, will cloning the repository from this GitHub URL, and it will fetch the directories or files that inside of these Git repository, and it will copy it to this location, workspace location as a modern in the modern project. So after that, it is get executed by the build phase. So scanning for the projects. So now if you see this, so by using the Java agent and the war tools and the Maven installation, so M3, so it is automatically installed these plugins, like, so after that, clean install. If you see this form.xml file, so it will read the content that inside the form.xml. Accordingly, it will install all the dependencies that needed to be build that code by the Maven plugin. So after that, scan for projects. So these are all the build reports downloaded from selected repository. So these are all the dependencies. So Java. So finally, it is get stopped and attempting to deploy one war file. So if you see deploying var Jenkins workspace Maven projects web app target, uh, uh, by clicking on the build now, it is gets created on the workspace. Like if you see that in the this where what's the space where live Jenkins workspace. If you see this, so we have a Maven project. So inside that Maven project, if you see that, so whatever the files that inside the GitHub repository, it will reflect, it will copy to here, and from here the file inside of the web app. Let us try to enter into that. So here the target gets generated. So inside this target, if you go to target, here we have web app.war. So this is the executable file with the extension of .war. So this file will be copied, like moved to the deployed to the Apache Tomcat by using the credential that we have provided and the STL. The what would HTTP like a path. So we have mentioned that now. So let us try to access this application now. So if we go, yeah. So if we give web app, so it's working. So if we remove it, so now so it's working. So in this way, we can deploy the projects like Java-based projects to the Tomcat Apache Tomcat web app server. So any doubts?
No, Chef, it's clear.
Okay. Anyone else? Like, is there any doubts?